When Philadelphia pulled off that blockbuster move to trade away A.J. Brown to New England, everyone in the city knew the stakes were astronomical. Howie Roseman shoved all his chips to the center of the table and drafted Makai Lemon out of USC in the first round to be the future. But after missing 10 grueling training camp practices with a recurring hamstring injury, the anxiety in South Philly reached a boiling point until today, when everything suddenly shifted. If you love pure, unfiltered football breakdowns and want to stay on top of every major roster twist, hit that like button, share this video with your crew, and subscribe right now. Can one explosive rookie truly fill the massive void left by an elite superstar receiver? Or is the pressure about to derail this entire passing attack before Week 1 even kicks off? Think about the sheer panic that was starting to creep into the building over the last few weeks. When you look at what happened with guys like Jordan Tyson in New Orleans, battling soft tissue issues going back to college, you know how dangerous a recurring hamstring strain can be. Lemon hurt that same hamstring in the spring at USC, aggravated it again this past spring, and then fell to flare up right as training camp got underway. That forced him to miss 10 critical practices, wiping out precious reps and leaving fans wondering when he would ever get on the field. Lemon openly admitted that he has to become more professional in how he approaches his body and recovery to avoid these setbacks. The encouraging part is that nobody is questioning his drive or work ethic. Offensive coordinator Sean Mannion even described the rookie as a mad scientist in the film room, completely glued to the playbook while sidelined. That preparation paid off today. For the first time in weeks, Lemon was officially listed as a full participant in practice. When the Eagles lined up in full pads for 11-on-11 team drills, number 9 was right where everyone dreamed he would be, lining up alongside Devonta Smith and Dontavian Wicks with the first-string offense. Naturally, there was some rust to knock off right away. His very first target on an underneath crossing route resulted in an incomplete pass. The timing and communication between Lemon and Jalen Hurts clearly need work, which is completely expected given how much practice time they lost this summer. Lemon knows he should have pulled that ball in, but the chemistry will come with repetition. His second target showed everyone why Howie Roseman moved up in the draft to get him. Philadelphia dialed up a quick bubble screen to Lemon on the perimeter, and the burst was electric. He snatched the football, found the lane, and showed that rare blend of shiftiness and raw power that won him the Biletnikoff Award under Lincoln Riley at USC. Remember in Saturday night's preseason game when Tanner McKee found Britton Covey on a bubble screen, and Covey scampered 14 yards through the New England defense for a touchdown? Philadelphia ran that exact same concept for Lemon today. While Covey executed it well, having an athlete with Lemon's dynamic, playmaking ceiling running those designs elevates this entire offensive scheme to a whole different level. Looking ahead to the open practice under the bright lights at Lincoln Financial Field, Lemon made his mindset crystal clear. It is just another day at the office to get better, go to work, and get paid. Now for our question of the day. Are you fully confident that Makai Lemon can replace A.J. Brown's production in this offense this season, or did the front office make a massive mistake making that trade? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments down below. While the receiver room is finally getting healthy, the rest of the roster is navigating a wave of physical setbacks. Several notable names were sidelined from practice today. Third-round rookie safety Markel Bell, who has enjoyed an outstanding camp, sat out while nursing thumb and leg injuries. Jacorian Bennett missed time with a knee issue. Grant Calcaterra remains out with his back, and Jonathan Jones is still battling a shoulder injury. Willie Lampkin, who has been one of the summer's standout offensive line surprises, was held out due to a stinger. Offensive tackle Jedrick Wills is dealing with another shoulder problem, while Eli Stowers missed practice with a hamstring tweak, which explains why his snaps were limited on Saturday night. Ambry Thomas was sidelined with a groin injury. Quez Watkins missed time with a foot issue, and 7th-round pick Cole Wisniewski is dealing with a concussion that will likely land him on season-ending injured reserve to preserve an active roster spot. The defensive secondary developments prompted the front office to make 2 significant roster moves. The competition at safety has completely exploded over the last month. Andrew Makuba has taken a massive step forward. Michael Carter, too, has been sharp. Andre Sam has been flying around. And undrafted free agents Maximus Gibbs and Kalev Hilassi have turned heads all summer. And because of that incredible depth, the Eagles officially released veteran special teams H.J.T. Gray, a multi-time Pro Bowler. Meanwhile, running back Juwan Jackson, who took a brutal hit on the opening kickoff against New England and had to be evaluated at the hospital, was waived with an injury designation and will revert to injured reserve if he clears waivers. Under center, a major shift finally took place on the practice field today. Tanner McKee stepped onto the field as the clear second-string quarterback ahead of Andy Dalton. After Dalton started the first two preseason matchups, McKee taking those QB2 reps is a breath of fresh air. McKee has outplayed Dalton throughout camp and deserves that primary backup role behind Jalen Hurts. Hurts himself has put together an intriguing summer. He currently sits at 14 touchdown passes against 11 interceptions in training camp. When you consider that Hurts threw only 11 interceptions combined over the last two full regular seasons, seeing 11 picks in a single month might raise an eyebrow. Yet context is everything. Hurts is using this training camp to push the limits, test deep throwing windows, and see exactly what this Sean Mannion system can produce rather than playing it overly safe. Outside the pocket, Hollywood Brown has developed strong downfield chemistry with Hurts over the past 2 weeks, solidifying his spot on the roster alongside guys fighting on the bubble like Elijah Moore, especially with Johnny Wilson out on injured reserve. Looking at the game tape from Saturday night, Sean Mannion's offensive scheme is showing why fans should be genuinely thrilled. Philadelphia has kept things vanilla in the preseason, but the intentionality of the play calling is night and day compared to last year. Take a look at the scoring drive against New England with Andy Dalton in the shotgun. Mannion sent Britton Covey in pre-snap motion across the formation. That motion wasn't just window dressing. It forced the boundary corner and the deep safety to flow hard with Covey. Mannion then dialed up 2 crossing routes underneath, sending Eric Gilbert through the shallow middle and Darius Cooper working behind him. That dual crosser concept put the backside safety on the left hash in an impossible bind. The moment that safety committed to the underneath route, a clean, open passing lane opened up behind him. Dalton fired a strike directly to Cooper for a massive chain-moving gain that propelled Philadelphia straight into the end zone. That is pure schemed spacing, using routes to open up teammates. The defensive film tells an equally fascinating story, especially when you look at the international pathway prospects battling for roster spots. Joshua Weru and Ire Bernard are showing rapid development. Weru was unblockable against Baltimore, tallying 2 pressures and a quarterback hit in his first live game. Against New England, he took it a step further by recording his first preseason sack. Lined up at left edge rusher, Weru hit the right tackle with a sharp inside-outside move, faked the interior rush to force the tackle off balance, and then used his explosive stride length to bend right around the corner. He closed in on the quarterback alongside Ramirez to secure the takedown, while also flashing great discipline against the run. Howie Roseman simply cannot risk putting Weru on the waiver wire because another team will claim him in an instant. On the interior, 300-pound defensive tackle Ire Bernard is showing why defensive line coach Clint Hurt is investing so much time in his growth. Bernard is still raw with his lateral movement, but his upper body power is shocking. He consistently walks veteran 300-pound guards right back into quarterback's lap. With elite talent finally getting healthy, young defensive gems flashing major upside, and an offensive scheme that creates real answers on every snap, Philadelphia is building dangerous momentum. If this roster can put all these pieces together and stay healthy when the lights turn on for real, the rest of the league is going to be in serious trouble.